Sup, my name is Ray for the TheYugiohCouncil. Welcome to Guide to Your Side, which is a side deck based, focused, discussion based video where we run down the cards you should be siding against that deck. And today is Infernoid. Just trying to get that name right. There is a deck profile on the channel of this deck, just to give you an idea how the deck runs. And there is a IRL duel video featuring this deck, and there will be more in the future. So let's talk about the deck itself, because I'm trying to improve Guide to Your Site. So let's talk about the deck itself. It's going to run a lot of things to, let's use the word enable, by putting all its monsters in the graveyard and then utilizing those monsters. They really don't want to use it from the hand, because if they use it from the hand, they're going to lose hand advantage. They want to save that or make plays off it. So Curry Bandit, Card Trooper, Needlebug Nest, these are like the big three, and Reasoning. Those are the big four that you see in the deck for speed. And then you come down to stuff like Raiden for tech, if you want to do that route. Now, once they're in the graveyard and these guys are summoning themselves out by banishing themselves off, they're Fire Fiends, which is one of the weirdest things in the world. If you already know this, then just skip ahead to the siding part. So basically, they have the ability to tribute themselves or any monster on the board to dodge trap cards, monster effects, and then they have the secondary effect with that to basically banish or rip a card from your hand. It's really nasty stuff, so prepare yourself, because Konami's giving these guys a lot of support and a lot of love throughout the next year or so. This is a good way just to start theorizing what we can use against them. And the first card is going to be Necrovalley, because it does not allow them to banish from that graveyard. We talked about in the beginning of this video the graveyard setup that they use. This will basically say, no graveyard setup for you. Have a good day, sir. I'm not letting you play your deck because your deck is too strong. It really is. I like to call Infernoids basically a cross between Dragon Rulers and Shaddolls. Basically, how Shaddolls have the utility where they have something to bounce, something to destroy. Infernoids have that, but they have the ability to special summon themselves, and they're fire, so they can Tech and Blaster, which is a counter to most of these cards. But I mean, 1 in 40. 1 in 40. They do have an extra deck. Sometimes you will never see it in the game, which is hilarious. But Necrovalley is a hard counter straight to the deck, and it is one that can easily shut it down. So definitely consider it if your deck can handle it. And then the next one, which is personal favorite of mine, is Kaiku, the Ghost Destroyer. Level 4, so if you're playing them, you're playing them gadgets, or you're playing them Sat Knights, Satellar Knights. I call them Stat Fat Knights because it just sounds funny. Nickname for the deck. But you can play Kaiku because basically it just comes out. Opponent can't banish from the graveyard; they'll have to banish from the hand, and then you just poke. I hear Mind Drain works pretty well with the first two cards, and the next card also works really good. So you could just use like Kaiku and poke. And just poke away for days, and then just banish stuff out, so they have nothing really banished. You want to take out the Fire Fiends before anything else, because that's what they're going to utilize first. So Kaiku Ghost Destroyer is a great option, and he's also dark, so if you're running a Chaos deck, you can get a benefit off that. Imperial Iron Wall is another great option if you're not able to run the Necrovalley or the Kaiku. This is basically just Floodgate generic, and it says cards cannot be banished, so they can't banish nothing, and then they have to utilize the Card Trooper, the Curry Bandit, and things of that sort. They're going to have to side in those MSTs to deal with this Imperial Iron Wall. They're going to side in a Trap Stun or Royal Decree or just something to deal with the Imperial Iron Wall. This is one of the best options right now to side against the deck. If someone at your locals is playing this deck and you're having a hard time against it, Imperial Iron Wall for days, it will literally shut down the entire deck. It's the equivalent against this deck. It's the equivalent of Vandy's Emptiness, and it's just funny to watch because they just struggle so hard against it, and they can't do nothing about it. The next card we're going to talk about is Dimensional Fissure, and obviously we'll be talking about Macros Cosmos in a minute too. Basically, take away their setup. Don't allow them to set up, and then when they can't set up, what are they going to do? They're going to lose to you because they have nothing in the graveyard to utilize. If they play Curry Bandit and you flip up that one Macros Cosmos, or you play a Dimensional Fissure, that MST becomes more and more crucial. If you combine this with something like Necrovalley and Kaiku, they're going to have to decide which is the worst, possible thing hurting their deck at that moment. And that's going to stop them right in their tracks. So these are great options. Basically, let's quick breakdown here. Don't allow them to special summon. Banish your stuff out. or don't allow them banished at all, and you pretty much will win the game right now. As the deck gets more support, I will do updated guides for this deck, so this way you guys don't have to worry about it, and you don't have to stress over, like, I don't know what to do about it. But Macros Cosmos, it's anything it goes to the graveyard. That's why they're checking stuff like Miracle Dig and Burial, so that way, you know, they can reutilize their stuff. MSC yours, play the Miracle Dig. They'll have the 5 banished out off of Curry Bandit play that got macroed or got Kaiku'd or just whatever the situation is. They'll play Miracle Dig, and Miracle Dig is going to get its own, basically, Tech Tuesday. So this way you guys can actually see it. And it's not going to be Tech Tuesday. It'll be out beforehand, so there'll be a link to the video if you want it. Just ask me. But, you know, these cards are going to easily stop it. And then, of course, there's always the optional DD Crow. I personally don't like DD Crow. I think Crevin's from a dark dimension or a different dimension, I forgot the exact wording on that, is a lot better than DD Crow, because the problem with DD Crow is it only hits 1. And you can hit the one that's coming out if it's from the graveyard, but Crevin's you could just chain banish 2 out, and they're gonna lose advantage off that. And yeah, they can use a tribute effect and say, you know what, fuck you, I'm not letting you do that. That's just part of their design, and it's really good design, really silly design. This is I said this countless videos, and I'm gonna say it again. This is the end all be all trap card right now. You know, this is pretty much the best trap card in the entire game that is currently legal, and it has Vandy's Emptiness. Neither player could special summon when a card's sent. You already know. You should know. If you've played this game the past couple of months, formats, then you know this card extremely well. I don't even talk about it. But don't allow them to special summon, and half their deck goes bye-bye. Because their whole focus is special summoning, so this is the one thing that hurts them and why they really can't break out as a meta deck right now, is because of Vandy's Emptiness at 3. And it's the same thing that Necrovalley are having an issue with, or will have an issue with, per se, come February. And we're so close to that right now, about 3 weeks away. And that's something they're going to have a big issue with, is just the ability to shut down the entire deck by stopping the special summons. So it's one of those things that you just go, no, you can't special summon, I win game, and they'll have to MST or Night Beam or whatever the case may be. So these are also options for Infernoid's players to play, is that you should be thinking about Night Beam and Dust Tornadoes. Vandy's Fiend, you know, in case they want to play them Dust Tornadoes, Vandy's Fiend for days. It's 2400. If they can't special something out, they're going to have a hard time getting over that Vandy's Fiend. And there's not, someone correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I don't know Infernoids 100%. I've only battled against them to the point that I understand how to counter them. Let me just say that much. I'm still mastering the deck myself, and it's something I want to play eventually, but not fully back into playing everything right now. So Vandy's Fiend is a great option just to lock them out. I don't believe they have one that just goes, I can chain, and then when this is tributed off, it pops one. There may be one, but I don't think it's ran in high numbers anyway, so it's not really too much of a threat. So Vandy's Fiend is a great option just for the time being right now. That 2400 body is just too strong, and then you can just swing for days and they can't counter it. And the last one, which actually works really well in the mirror match, is Chaos Hunter. And you're probably going, Chaos Hunter? Yeah, she's in Battle Pack 2. You could probably pick it up for $1 right now. When your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you could discard 1 card and special this card from your hand. Your opponent cannot banish cards. This also stops Necrovalley from playing the Trishulia loop, which is they go into the Necrovalley of Trishulia, or the Trishulia of Necrovalley. I think it's the second one. And basically, they would rip cards. It's got the Trishulia effect: rip one from the grave, or rip one from hand, and then rip one from field. And then you just drop Chaos Hunter, and you're like, fuck. And you just stop them from doing that. Instead of losing 3 cards, you gain 1 on board. That's a level 7. So if you're playing a deck that can utilize level 7 Gaga, Dragon Rulers, things of that sort, then this is going to be great for you. If not, and you have a dark deck, it works too. If not, then, well, I don't know what to tell you. This works really well with Burning Abyss, because you could just discard, get plus off, you know, search, and then go for days. I think you already know how that works with Burning Abyss. Fuck you, Burning Abyss. Yeah, but you can use it in Burning Abyss when they want to, like, counter you, and then, you know, they want to banish your stuff. You just go, nope, I'm not allowing you to do that. And there's really not a hard counter to it with Chaos Hunter is not really a hard counter to stop the Chaos Hunter unless they have Vanity's Fiend. I mean, Vanity's Emptiness. I keep calling it Vanity's Fiend. My apologies. Unless they have Vanity's Fiend. Vanity's Emptiness! Sorry, I did it again. Unless they have Vanity's Emptiness, they're really going to have a hard time jumping over the Chaos Hunter. So these are all great options. Check them out. Let me know down in the comments. And let everyone else know what you are siding, or what you will be siding, or what you think people should side for Infernoids, however you want to phrase that. And I will catch you guys on the next video. 2 videos per day here on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. So if you enjoyed our content, you already know what to do. You already know what we're going to ask. Because every YouTuber asks, then make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to slap it with a like. And then leave a comment down below. And I will see you later. As always, I'm ready for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. Thanks for taking time out of your day to watch our videos. Peace.